Greetings. So, I wanted to do another video on Barberton after I've closed on this property through rent to retirement. A couple of highlights about it is some of the, actually, I guess what we'll discuss first is some of the lessons learned. Okay, so here's the lessons learned for me, and hopefully it'll be something that I can look back on and do a little bit better. So the first one is pick up the phone. Okay, so and what I mean by that is there was a lot of miscommunication when it came to the property manager and myself. I really kind of thought that they were lazy. I thought that they were not efficient. They would rarely respond to me over email, things like that. So it was getting very frustrating. They didn't have a website. There was a lot of things like that. As soon as I picked up the phone and actually talked to them, things were a lot better. So a lot smoother. I started getting a little bit more communication. I could understand why they were doing certain things like that. So that would be one of the lessons learned is to pick up the phone. Don't rely just on email. I also found out that some of my emails to certain people, and that's not to everybody, not to the main office, but to like the leasing, they were going to spam. At least that's what I was told. So that's one of the things that I'm like, okay, probably should have did that a little bit earlier. One of the other things is probably being a little bit more proactive with the lender. Um, can't say I was super impressed with the lender. I was for a bit in the beginning. They're very good at communication, so that's like kind of a big thing for me is the communication piece. And but I think being a little bit more proactive to kind of get a real idea of closing costs, because when I'm running my numbers for a lot of these places, even though they're a lower price point, I kind of raise the percentage of closing costs up. I don't do like the 1 to 3. A lot of times I'll put like 5 or something like that, and it was like 8% closing costs. So it was significant, and significantly more than I had budgeted for or that I had thought of might be possible. So that was, I think, just kind of like being a little bit like kind of jabbing them a little bit, with a stick and be like, hey, really could use a good idea. So, I mean, they did give me a good idea eventually, but it was at the end, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm already in this process, so I'm gonna have to go through with it. So that was kind of something that I took from this. And the last thing, there's probably more, but these are kind of like the ones that I am sort of highlighting, and that is being more forceful with the property manager on terms of the lease. So it's almost like this property manager feels like their terms are their terms, and the owner shouldn't have any input. Now, I don't think that's necessarily true, but it's almost like they just have these set terms, and there's no moving it. So, a credit score at this point, and income at this point, and trying to think of something else. Like pets. They just automatically said yes to pets, and I'm fine with pets, but it's kind of like, okay, maybe we should talk to the owner first. So I think just having a more, maybe not forceful conversation is the right word, but a more focused conversation with the property manager and say, hey, I think a 620 credit score or a 700 credit score is the better way to go. Now, they're going to know the area a lot better, so you should obviously take their advice when it comes to certain things, but at least ask the question, right? So ask the question, hey, can we change this? Because I feel like I'm not really I'm not seeing any input when it comes to who is putting applications in. They have this application online called Buildium that they use where you log in, you can see a lot of that stuff, but it's it's okay. It's just I wish they would use something I was a little bit more familiar with. Okay, so let me see if I can switch this. And you can see the house here. So this is the house right here. Actually, we'll look at the previous. Um, let's see if we can. So it's all right here. You can see it here. So this used to be a duplex, and if you watch some of my older videos, you will know about this. I didn't realize there was actually an awning here. I wonder if that'd be something we could do. But it used to be a duplex, and you could see that there's only this area and this area for driveway, and it's not like great. So what I had them do, and it won't be shown in the new videos, is that I had them make another parking pad here. So there's going to be two parking pads because there's going to be two families that, or I'm sorry, there's a potential that two families might want to live in here, two couples, because it is a bigger house. It's got separated upstairs and downstairs, and then a common area on the upper level, the third level. So one bathroom for each couple, one bedroom for each couple type thing. Okay, so that's sort of my thought when I was making that driveway, having them put another driveway in. Okay, go to the listing, and again, it's sort of like the property manager. I don't know if they're just doing the photos on their own. I tried to look up somebody that would do photography in that area. It was very difficult to find anyone. I couldn't really find much. It was every photographer was more like weddings and prom pictures and all this other stuff. So not super pumped on this photo. It almost looks like it's overcast or something. Not exactly sure. Don't know why they went with that color either. Maybe there's a good reason for that. You'll see carpet in here, which obviously is not super ideal, but if I ever decide to make it into a duplex, maybe it could be. Kitchen, bedroom. No tub here, so just a shower insert. I don't see any type of pole or anything for like a curtain. I'm kind of curious about that now. Yep, sometimes. Sorry, I just ended up seeing that. Okay, so you got a bathtub there. It's looking a little odd. So the pictures they're okay, but they're not excellent. And this is what I was talking about when it came to some of these criterias. So you have 560 plus. I mean, I don't know, 560, but they do say one of the things is like no evictions in the recent past, but what's recent past? I don't know what that is. So I still have some open questions that I need to get answered from the property manager. I thought the description was okay. I don't think Dion from Dion Talk would like this description, but I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it so bad. I thought it was nice that they kind of split things up, and it wasn't just like a big wall of text that I see in some of these other ones. So that's pretty good. Looking at the numbers real fast, so I did have a little bit of a change in the numbers. They're a little bit worse than I previously had mentioned, but not by a lot. Only because my insurance, when I calculated my insurance, it went up about $20. or so per month. So I'm getting close to 300 in cash flow, as you can see right here. And then I'm only doing 10%. I'm not doing a full 15 for the expenses and the vacancy. So, but either way, all of this money is going to get saved into like, the pile of this particular house. So I'm not really too concerned about that. All of that's going to be getting saved. So now, and then lastly, I did talk to the property manager about Section 8. They seem to be, open to doing that. And when I looked at the voucher, or not the voucher, but when I looked at the fair housing market online, switching up cameras. When I looked at the fair housing market online for, it only goes up to 4 bedrooms, and this is 5 bedrooms. So 4 bedrooms was like $1,380 or something like that. And I kind of thought, well, a 5 bedroom probably goes up to 14 something. But the property manager told me that the voucher was like 1,600 something. And, that's including like the utilities and things like that. So maybe that's why it's so high. Maybe they don't include that online. I'm not exactly sure. But that's something that I'm kind of interested in, because if I could get closer to 1,600 something and I'm paying, 200, or I'd have to calculate it for utilities, we're looking a lot better than the $1,295 rent. So we'll see how things go with that. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's looking good so far. I think they could be working a little bit harder to get a tenant. It's been now, let's see, today's the 13th. I closed on the 3rd, so it's been a week and a half. It's not like I would rather wait a little bit longer just to make sure, but the bad thing is I haven't seen any applications come in. So, you could see here on this listing that they had an open house on the 10th, right? But he only had an open house for half an hour. So I don't know that that's enough time. I mean, I guess it's at the end of the day, so people are coming home from work. They could get there, but I think I would have liked to see an hour. 30 minutes is not super long. But so anyway, that's it. Just kind of to recap on the lessons learned. Pick up the phone, be the first thing. Making sure that you're talking to the property manager. If there's any, especially picking up the phone if the responses you're getting are not what you want. Okay, so if you're just not getting responses at all, or if it's just like what you're getting, you're kind of like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. So, and then, just being more, I guess, kind of similar to that is just being a little bit more focused with the conversation with the property manager. Make sure you kind of got an idea of what they're looking for, what terms you think are a little bit more fair, and then give them the chance to kind of guide you on the local populace, because you might not know what it is, and maybe a 560 credit score is really good for that area. I don't know, probably not, but maybe it's okay. And then when it comes to the lender, just being a little bit more proactive with them, kind of find out what's the real closing, why is it so high. And I think it's higher because they're not getting much out of the transaction, because it's such a low priced asset. So they're going to make up some of that with the closing costs. Now I did buy points too, so that was part of it. So maybe I should. So you know what? I'm not sure if I calculated that in. So maybe it wasn't quite 8%. Might have been a little bit lower. was only off by like a percentage. It did seem like it was a little higher than I would have liked it though. But that's about it. I'm just gonna keep kind of going through this process, and as I learn, a few extra things, make a video about it so I can have a historical record of it. And of course, if I can help anybody, if somebody comes across this and they're looking at Barberton or Akron or something like that, because I think this looks like a good area to be in to be in when it comes to real estate. All right, that is it. Take care.